Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast with Phil Graham. We help you master Facebook ads and give you an unfair advantage over your competition. Are you ready? Let's go.
What's up, podcast family? Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast, episode 368. Phil Graham here. I hope you guys had a great long weekend if you're in the US. If you're not, hope you had a great regular weekend. And I'm so excited you're here because I've got a phenomenal episode for you guys today. I'm going to be sharing my top picks for Facebook ad software and tools. Now, we've used just about everything out there under the sun for a million different things, it seems like. And some of them are great, some of them are horrible. I'm going to share the ones that we personally use and recommend. And I'm also going to share some things about tools that will hopefully really help you guys. As usual, I'm going to keep this episode short, sweet, and full of value. But before we jump into the main content, if you guys are looking to have your ads run for you, a done-for-you ad service, or if you're looking for some one-on-one coaching to really learn ads yourself and get really good at this stuff, for either one of those things, you can just go to my website, philgrahamdigital.com, or you can DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital, and I would love to connect with you. You guys, I can't believe that it is June in a couple days. This year is going by so fast, it's crazy. I hope you're enjoying it, and I definitely hope you're gearing up for a great summer of ads. And then before we know it, the holiday season is going to be here, and we have to start getting ready for that pretty soon. So this is crazy. Let's jump right in, though. I want to start talking about the software and tools that we use and recommend. And first and foremost, my overall guiding philosophy with this stuff is that I am against the all-in-one solutions for a very good reason. There's no way that they can be great at everything. So there's a number of different all-in-one solutions where you can get pretty much all your tools and services in one place for one price. It might even save you money. And it's super convenient for sure. But make no mistake about it, you are usually going to be paying a huge price for that convenience. Like I said, there's no way that a company can focus on everything and be great at everything. And that means that they might not be great at anything. And all the different tools you're using may have issues in terms of how it performs for you. I remember one time we were working with a client who was using an all-in-one solution that included email. But this company did all these other things. They did shopping carts, landing pages, CRMs, everything you can imagine. Every time the client sent an email, it went to the spam folder because this company's main expertise was not email. As soon as we switched it over to an email-first company, it all changed. And their email started going where it should go. So I am just typically against these all-in-one solutions. Anytime you're thinking about whether you should use one or not, I've got a great analogy for you. Just think about restaurants. There's no way a restaurant can be good at everything either. So my question to you would be, when you're considering an all-in-one, if you were to go to a pizza restaurant and they also had a little side menu of sushi, would you order sushi from a pizza restaurant? I certainly hope not. I know I would not, because they don't specialize in that. You might even get sick. So I do not use or recommend these all-in-one solutions. You know what I do? I choose the companies that are great at one primary thing, and then I use them for the thing that they're great at, the thing that they focus on. And that gives me the best level of service and the best end result in most situations. So let's jump right in. I'm going to share the different tools we use and recommend. Number one, AI. There's two important things when it comes to that. Where do you get it and how do you use it? The first one, where do you get it? Typically, what we always use and recommend is we get it directly from the source. ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini, things like that, directly from the source. We're not using third-party tools that basically use those things from the source. We go directly to the source ourselves. And that's what we use and recommend when it comes to AI. It doesn't mean there's not some good tools out there and there's stuff being built all the time, but for our uses and our success, we absolutely have the best results going directly to the AI companies themselves. Again, ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, etc. The second thing about AI is how you use it. And I've talked about this before, but just real briefly, I don't recommend, like, let's say you're going to use it for ad copy. I wouldn't just put something in there and just use what it gives you. If you do, I would love to compete against you because it's probably not going to work out too well for you. However, if you use what you get from AI and combine that with your skills, your secret sauce, your knowledge, your differentiation, and then you create something from that, and then you roll with that and put it out there into the world, that's a great combination. So make sure you're using AI the right way. You still have to have skill. You still got to have differentiation, and you've got to put your touch on it, your secret sauce, or else it's not going to stand out in many cases. Next category is going to be email. We talked about this briefly, but with the email, of course, I always go directly to the companies that specialize in primarily email. Now, sometimes I'll do a company that has CRM and email because those are pretty closely tied together. So that would be an exception. But we're going to talk about CRMs in a few minutes. For email, let's say you're just going with an email only company, for example. Definitely Aweber has been a great one for us. It's kind of an oldie but a goodie, still really powerful and great at what they do. And that's their primary thing. MailChimp is a good one. Klaviyo is a great one, especially in the Shopify world. And then also ActiveCampaign. And there's some other good ones too, but those are some of the most common that we've used and that have done really well. And we've had great success with those. Next category is landing pages. So there's so many different options. I actually feel bad giving a couple because there's plenty of good companies. I'm going to leave some good ones out. So if I don't mention yours, doesn't mean I don't like it. I'm just going to share the two most common ones that we use and like the best. And these are also the ones that we have the least issues with, which is really important. So number one, my first and foremost would almost always be WordPress because we own it, we control it. No third-party company sees our data. We can create whatever we want with it. Like there's so many good reasons to use WordPress. However, I do know that not everybody knows how or likes to or wants to. And a lot of people want a landing page software service that makes it really quick and easy. Although it is easy with WordPress too, but I get it. So if I were to choose a landing page service, there's a lot of good ones, but I would have to say Leadpages. They're great at what they do. It's a decent price. So I would say Leadpages would be what I would go to next beyond WordPress. Next, let's talk about video ads. So for video ads, there's a lot of different things you can do. We definitely love Canva. Got a pro subscription to Canva. It doesn't cost a whole lot. I think it's like $120 a year, but it's well worth it. And then also CapCut, C-A-P-C-U-T. CapCut, I think it's .com. But CapCut is a great tool. Like I can't believe it's free. You can create some amazing videos with CapCut. And I believe it's owned by TikTok, I think, but it's not only for TikTok. It could be used for anything. You can download the videos and use them anywhere, I believe. And we've used it a ton. It is so powerful and so easy to use. So I definitely recommend CapCut for videos. And then also just regular editors. So like iMovie and Final Cut Pro if you're on a Mac. And there's also whatever the Adobe editor is. I can't remember the name off the top of my head because I'm a Mac guy. I like Final Cut Pro, but using normal editors like that as well. But I recommend those things for videos. You can do a lot with them. You can create just about any kind of video you want. Now, when it comes to image ads, again, Canva for the win. It's probably my favorite tool creatively because you can do so much. And again, that pro version is so well worth it. You even get royalty-free images and all kinds of stuff. So I really love that. And another thing we use quite a bit with images and also somewhat with video as well is Adobe Express. And you can just get the free version of that. It works really well. Now let's talk about CRMs. So I mentioned CRMs is something that really coincides tightly with email. And so sometimes we'll use a CRM company for email and vice versa. Other times we won't, but we've had some pretty good success doing that. It does depend on the company. There's quite a few good CRMs out there. So I'm just going to give one that I've used more than some of the others, and that's HubSpot. But there are lots of good CRMs. So I don't want you to think that nothing else is good because I didn't mention it. It's just we have the most experience with HubSpot. I'm actually testing some WordPress hosted CRMs right now too. So I'll get back to you guys on that. I need more data, more time with it before I can say if it's good or not. But HubSpot is really powerful, and that is a really good CRM that I like and I recommend. Now, in terms of shopping carts, there's a lot of different options out there. I've been using the same shopping cart for the last 6 or 7 years, and I absolutely love it. It's called Thrivecart. Now, there is some kind of a WordPress theme out there called Thrive Themes. Thrivecart has nothing to do with them. It's a completely separate company. The thing that I liked about Thrivecart back in the day is that it had everything I wanted, and it gave me a one-time price, which was really nice. And it has been rock solid for years. So I really like Thrivecart. It does everything I need it to and more. It's just stood the test of time and continues to do really well. So that would be the shopping cart that I would definitely recommend. Next, we talk scheduling. So for scheduling, again, there's lots of different options there. The two that I recommend are OnceHub, and that's what I use and personally recommend. But then I have used Calendly as well, and it's really good. I like OnceHub a little bit better, but Calendly is also really good. So those are the two calendars I would recommend. One thing I would say is I would not skimp on a calendar system if you're somebody that does bookings and stuff like that, because there's some systems that are lower cost or free, but they don't work very well, or they don't send reminders when they should. It's not worth it, in my opinion. So OnceHub and Calendly have shown me to be very reliable, and those two I really trust, especially OnceHub, but that's where I would go for scheduling. And then the last category today we're going to talk about is data. So we use a lot of different things for data. First of all, you got to be careful with something like third-party stat companies. There are some decent ones, but there are some that claim that they can see everything, even the iOS privacy stuff that Facebook can't see. That's BS. Run the other way when you see companies that claim that, because it's just not true. So you got to be careful with a lot of these third-party stat companies. So for stats, what I use and recommend is a few different things. Google Analytics, of course. So make sure you've got analytics on there. Obviously, you've got the Facebook Ads Manager and any other ads managers you use, like if you use Google or anything else, you got that going. I would also recommend some kind of a heat map. I like Hotjar a lot. You could even use the free version if you want to. And then also your website stats, whether that's WordPress or Shopify or whatever platform you're on, you're going to have stats and data from that as well. And so what I like to do is I like to take the data and the stats from all of these different sources, and then I bring them into what I call a dashboard that's within Google Sheets. And then I can summarize and analyze the different pieces of data and look for trends. And it gives me such an advantage, such an edge over somebody that just looks in Ads Manager. I will be doing an episode someday exactly about how I do this, but I did want to just mention the different things I use for tracking, because a lot of people ask me this stuff all the time, and tracking is such a big part of our secret sauce. Not only tracking, but how we analyze the data and then take action on it. So this is a good first step for you guys to make sure you have these different things in place. So my friends, hopefully this was helpful. If I didn't mention your favorite software, it doesn't mean I don't like it. It doesn't even mean it's not good. These are just some of my favorites that I use and recommend. Or if I don't use it, I have in the past and would still recommend it. But if you guys have questions, feel free to go to my website, philgrahamdigital.com, or DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital. Episode 368 is in the books. Thank you guys so much for being here. Got another great episode for you guys next week. I will talk to you then. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast. Please remember to subscribe and share this with all your friends. For show notes, more tips, and to learn more about Phil, please visit philgrahamdigital.com/podcast.